define what a polynomial is. If you remember, the prefix poly, does anybody know what that means?
Side.
Means many, multiple. Okay? Nomial is going to mean terms. So a polynomial means many terms. And so a polynomial is defined as being a monomial or the sum of monomials. So then we get to what a monomial is. A monomial, does anybody know what the prefix mono means? One term. Okay, and so one term would be 5x. Another term could be x squared. It could be negative x cubed. So basically one term. It could be the number 3. Binomial. Prefix bi, you know, means 2. So the sum of 2 monomials. So it's 2x squared plus 7. Okay, 3x cubed minus 3. Notice the key word here, sum. So that means we don't call a binomial something that has 2 things multiplied by themselves. So if I have this, that's not a binomial. Has to be the sum. And then a trinomial, the prefix tri means 3. So it's the sum of 3 monomials. Okay, trinomials are really cool. We've got a lot of neat things we can do with those, and we will be looking at those shortly. Okay, so real quick here, the degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of all the variables. Okay, that's what the degree is. So basically, we're taking all the variables, we're taking all the exponents, and we're adding them together, and we call that the degree. Okay, the degree of a polynomial is the greatest degree of any term in the polynomial. So basically, when we're saying the degree of this quantity, okay, if it was, for example, let's do this, x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay, so let's talk about degree a little bit. What's the highest power here, or the highest exponent? 2. The exponent here is 1. Exponent here is 0, because it's actually x to the 0 power. So this would be a degree 2 equation. We call a degree 2 equation a quadratic. We call a degree 1 equation a linear, degree 3 cubic, quartic, quintic, and so on. So now what I've tried to do, and this is actually in your book too as well, what I've tried to do is give you a little bit of a background as to what a polynomial monomial is. And so if we look at this, the expression 4y minus 5xz, is that a polynomial? Yes. Because 4y and negative 5xz, that's the sum of 2 monomials, it's a degree 2. Why is it a degree 2? Yeah?
Because x is 1 and z is 1, so they're 2 together.
X is 1, z is 1. So that term itself has a 1 plus 1 degree, which is 2. Okay? And we call that a binomial because there are 2 terms. Negative 6.5 is a polynomial, yes, because it's a real number. Okay, the degree is 0 and it's a monomial. 7a to the negative 3rd plus 9b is not a polynomial. Okay, why? Because I've got a negative exponent here. Okay, can't have a negative exponent. All right, can't have a negative exponent. 6x cubed plus 4x plus x plus 3 is a polynomial. Okay, it's actually the sum of 3. Why is it the sum of 3 when I count 4? Yeah, you can combine these right here and you get 5x. Okay, degree 3. Why is it a degree 3?
Because x is cubed.
X cubed, and it's a trinomial. So with that in mind, is this a polynomial? Yes or no? So I'm going to go ahead and send that to you. So is that a polynomial? Yes or no? We'll see how you do. And the answer is yes. It's a polynomial. It's just x. Okay, remember you can have x. You could have 3x, 2x. That is a polynomial. It's actually more specifically a monomial. Okay, is that a polynomial? Yes or no? Okay, let me go ahead and get that out of your way. Is that a polynomial? Yes or no? Yes. By the way, what's the degree on that? Oh, 2. 2 is the highest power. And is this a monomial, binomial, trinomial, What is it?
Trinomial.
Trinomial, because I could actually, oops, oh my goodness. I could actually go ahead and combine these two middle terms. So that's why we call it a trinomial.
So you can do subtraction even though it says the monomial or the sum of monomials?
Okay, this is the thing with subtraction. Okay, the question was, it says sum. Okay, I can change subtraction so that it's addition just by doing that. Okay, and so really subtraction is addition, just it's adding the negative or adding the opposite. That's a good question. So now, is that a polynomial, yes or no? Okay, let me go ahead and is that a polynomial, yes or no? Yes, good job. Okay, is a polynomial, what's the degree?
3.
3, because t, u, and v add up and they give you 3. Nice job. All right, is this a polynomial? And the answer is no. Reason, there's actually 2 reasons. What's one of the reasons?
Negative.
The negative exponent here, and also
The A.
the a. So this fails for 2 reasons. Can't have a negative exponent, can't have a variable as an exponent. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and talk about what standard form is. Okay, standard form means that the terms are in order from greatest to least degree. Notice the key word there, greatest to least degree. That's called standard form. Then we have what's known as the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient, the word lead means to be out in front. So the leading coefficient is the coefficient of the first term. And if you notice, I kind of have that color coded down below. Okay, the leading coefficient in this case is 4. All right, that's the term with the highest degree. Okay, and so the term with the highest degree is x cubed, so that's where I start. And then I go to x squared, and then I go to x, and then I go to my constant. So we call that standard form. We also call that descending order. Okay, we also call that descending order. Because what does it mean to do when you descend? You go down. So I'm starting with my highest and I'm going down to my least. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be expected to write polynomials in standard form and identify the leading coefficient. So let's go ahead and look at this. It says write each polynomial in standard form. Identify the leading coefficient. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking for my highest power. What's your highest power? 5. So I'm going to write this as 4x to the 5th. I'm looking for my next highest power. Plus 3x squared. I'm looking for my next one. Minus 7x. So that is my polynomial in standard form. That's your first answer. Okay, think you can handle that? The leading coefficient then would be what? 4. So then you'd have 2 answers. First answer is standard form. Second answer is your leading coefficient. All right, let's look at the next one. What's the next one going to be? Negative 2y to the 4th minus
6y plus 5.
minus 9. What's your leading coefficient? Negative 2. Okay. Fairly easy. The leading coefficient is going to be nothing more than the term here in front. That's why they have you write it in standard form. Let's go and look at another example. Find each difference. Oops, I skipped one. Just a sec. Let's go back there. There we go. Find each sum. Got to find the sum before the difference first. So on this one, what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to try and find like terms. So what would be a term that is like with 2x squared?
4x squared.
Negative 4x squared. What is the net result there? Negative 2x squared. So now I'm going to see if I've got another pair. Do I have another pair?
5x and 6x.
5x and 6x, which gives me
11x.
And then I'm going to look to see if I have anything else that's alike.
Negative 7, 3.
Negative 7 and 3, which gives me, there you go. That's all you're doing. You're just going to be adding like terms. So on this last one, what's my first answer going to look like?
Y.
Let's start with the y cubed first.
3y.
3y cubed, because I have 1y cubed plus 2y cubed. Okay, that's a 1. What's the next power? 4y squared. Good. Okay, what's the next term?
3 ones. Well, it'd be 7. Negative. Negative y.
Negative 1y. And then what's my next term?
3. Negative 3.
3 plus 3. Good job. Okay, yes, we do like things to be written in standard form. I don't just want them willy-nilly here and there. Okay, so try and write them in standard form if you can. We're also going to look at finding each difference today. So finding each difference. And this, what you're going to have to do is do one step before you even begin. All right, now, when we subtract, we make a lot of mistakes. So what I'm going to do is change this to an addition problem so that I don't make those mistakes. And so in order to change that to addition, that means I need to change this problem, and this problem. So basically by doing that, now you're going to add.
You only go to a right.
Only go to the right, because you're subtracting that quantity. So what's going to be my first term? Negative x squared. Yep, because it comes from the 2x squared and the negative 3x squared. What's going to come next?
Negative.
Negative 2x, which is,
Negative 6x.
okay, what's going to come from my next one?
8.
8, because 3 and 5. Good. Okay, I want you to try this one for me. Okay, remember what I said. Add the opposite there, so you're going to change each of the signs. So what's your coefficient of p cubed? 4. What's your coefficient of p squared? Negative 3. What's your coefficient of p?
16.
What's your coefficient of your constant?
Negative.
Negative 10. Okay, so that should be your final answer. 4p cubed minus 3p squared plus 16p minus 10. Questions? Should be fairly straightforward. Okay, very last one we're going to look at is this one. Okay, one more. Yep. So what'd you get your coefficient of x cubed to be? 6. Good. What's your coefficient of x squared?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. What's your coefficient of x?
6.
6. What's your constant?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. There you go. Okay, so this is what I need you to do for tomorrow. I need you to do 20 through 25. Now notice this is 20 through 25 all. okay, because I don't have evens right after it. And then 26 through 44 evens. So pages 468, 469, we're in chapter 8 right now. Okay, 20 through 25 all, 26 through 44 the evens.